wonderful and excellent points that have already been advanced. And I think I will start from what Prashad said, that this discussion is the best that has ever happened to Kenya. But I will say, I will add to that this is the best discussion that has ever happened to Africa. Because what we are doing here, and I think in the case of Kenya, this draft policy provides that opportunity because it's a draft. And actually, when Buria brought in, he brought in here to be helped so that they can be reshaped. And so these ideas are actually helping to reshape this. And I think, as Odiambo said, and I will start from where you started, Mr. Odiambo. If you take Uganda, Nigeria, for example, who have advanced with their policy harmonization and coherent task forces, they have coalesced around their national development actions. And coalescing this around the medium-term plan 3 brings in everything. Because if you look at Kenya, like any country in Africa, they have signed up to international treaties. They have to deliver. And delivering on the Paris Climate Change Agreement, for example, doesn't need a separate action. Delivering on the Sustainable Development Goals to achieve the 17 goals doesn't need a separate action. Delivering on your Vision 2030 doesn't need a separate action. And delivering on your Big 4 doesn't need a separate action. And so, finding the best optimal entry point to achieve all these in a most effective, efficient, and in a way that lowers the risk is what we're discussing here. And therefore, everything that we are saying here is quite very, very important. And as you said, Mr. Odiambo, what I would like to add before I move to what Fresha said is to be able to do this, we need cooperatives and not operatives. We need cooperatives, and cooperatives should be seen from the perspective of alliance building. But alliance building for what? Along the entire agro value chain, because that is the only way you can drive. It's the engine to drive inclusive development, but not only drive inclusive development, doing so to achieve all these SDGs, NDCs, Big 4, and Vision 2030. And so then this cooperative policy incentive, as I said, I think though Buria brought it, it's your document. You should own it. You should reshape it. You should put all these beautiful ideas that are coming out of it, and then provide direction to this. And I think this way Kenya will be ahead of any other country, because others could then learn how did you do it through one document. Because in the case of Uganda, they're using their National Development Plan 3 and coalescing everything around it. So Kenya uses it in medium-term plan 3. Nigeria is using what they call the ERF, Economic Recovery Plan, which is pretty much like the National Development Plan, but towards economic development, and coalescing everything around it. So this is really timely. The aspect of using innovative financing for cooperatives is very, very important. And I think this is what we're bringing in here. Cooperatives can only survive on shares. What innovations can we bring in? And that could be captured in this document. Like the case of Nigeria, for example, they're using what is called risk sharing facility. For example, there is a stimulus that is given to leverage more money on. So you give 5 million Kenyan shillings to leverage 15 million Kenyan shillings. How the cooperative can do that is, how can you be able to loan out to the farmers who are using clean energy, who are using nature-based actions, to transporters who are using motorbikes that are solar powered, not diesel powered. Those are the incentives. So they will pay back this money, and where there is a default, that leaves 5 million. Out of that 5 million, we can be able to capture this year, and we are happy to provide the support in guiding on this innovative. But there is one crucial point you mentioned, Mr. Odiambo, the Nairobi Stock Exchange. This is an area that has not even been looked into, and we can be able to look into this from an innovative perspective and provide guidance. And I think capturing what you said in this policy, the aspect of using cooperative to modernize agro-industrialization, but agro-industrialization done with environment, not against the environment. Then that will then capture so many aspects, because if you look at the SDGs, it's about a planet in which we can be able to live and then give it to our children's children and ensure that no one is left behind. And you cannot take everyone ahead without driving agro-industrialization, because that's only how people can be lifted from the bottom of the pyramid. And I think the easiest way then is to reshape this document. And if we do that, that's already an offshot, and I think this committee will go down in history as those who showed the way. And Fresha, thank you very much for those points. I think the way you put it is actually the logic of a Bafosa, because production is not enough. Even when you produce, adding value is not enough. Even when you add value, if there's no market, then you will not be able to put money in your pocket. So how do you address all those aspects across the entire continuum, but doing so towards your vision, ensuring that you reach your vision, but achieving other aspects that keep coming on, whether it is your big four, your SDGs, the NDCs, and coalescing this around your medium-term grid. And I really like this aspect, and I think that comes in to address the aspect of the cooperative finance and investment, which you said something that I think changes the narrative, which there is nothing like a job. Job creation is an offshoot of wealth creation. And you can only create wealth when you connect the dots in the system. Because those who produce are creating jobs for those who add value. And those who produce will also create jobs for those who are dealing with solar power irrigation. Because one person's challenge is an opportunity for another person, but it must go up to the end, and that is the only way that you can create wealth. And wealth creation will bring jobs for everybody. And that is really why this is an opportunity. I think if we pitch it this way, Mr. Odiembo, the person with the most powerful back has come in. Yeah, so I think, anyway, continue.